Food preservatives represent one of modern food science's most important innovations and simultaneously one of its most problematic. They've enabled global food distribution networks and dramatically reduced spoilage waste, but they've also created a sneaky problem that most consumers don't recognize. Preservatives can mask the early stages of contamination while creating a false sense of security. Let me explain why this matters more than you might think. Preservatives like sodium benzoate, BHA, BHT, and nitrites work by suppressing microbial growth and slowing oxidation. That's their job, and they do it effectively. But here's the mechanism that creates problems. These chemicals suppress spoilage organisms, the bacteria that produce obvious warning signs like off odors, slime, and visible mold. When spoilage bacteria are suppressed, you don't get those early warning signs that food is deteriorating. Meanwhile, pathogenic bacteria, the ones that actually make you sick, might still be growing. Many pathogens don't cause obvious spoilage signs anyway. They just multiply silently until you consume enough to get sick. The result is that heavily preserved products can reach dangerous levels of pathogenic bacteria while still appearing perfectly acceptable to consumer senses. They don't smell bad. They don't look wrong. The texture seems fine. Every indicator you'd normally rely on tells you the food is safe, but it might not be. This is particularly concerning with products that combine multiple preservation methods, chemical preservatives plus refrigeration plus vacuum packaging. Each layer suppresses different warning systems. Let's compare preservation methods to understand the differences. Salt, sugar, and acid are traditional preservation methods that work differently from synthetic chemicals. High salt or sugar concentrations create osmotic environments where bacteria can't survive. Acid creates pH levels too low for bacterial growth. These methods don't just suppress warning signs, they prevent bacterial growth more comprehensively. Chemical preservatives are more selective in what they inhibit, which is why they're often combined with refrigeration and other controls. The case studies are revealing. There have been incidents where products heavy in preservatives failed safety standards despite appearing normal. Investigation revealed that pathogenic bacteria had grown to dangerous levels, while preservatives suppressed the spoilage organisms that would have warned consumers. The products passed visual and olfactory inspection, but failed microbiological testing. How many times does this happen without detection? Consumers face a genuine dilemma. Preservatives enable the convenience and reduced food waste that modern life depends on. Without them, the food system as we know it couldn't function. But they also limit your ability to assess safety using traditional methods. Reading labels helps. When you see multiple preservatives listed, that's a sign of heavy processing and potentially more risk. Products with simpler preservation methods might be preferable when available and affordable. The framework I'd suggest is this: balance preservation benefits against detection limitations. For foods you'll consume quickly, minimal preservation might be adequate. For foods you're storing long-term, preservation is necessary, but be aware that you can't rely on sensory evaluation. Follow expiration dates more strictly with heavily preserved products because you can't trust your nose. Understand which preservation methods truly prevent pathogen growth versus which only delay spoilage markers. And recognize that natural doesn't automatically mean safer. Traditional preservation methods can harbor risks too if not properly executed. The preservative paradox isn't going away. We're not going back to a world without chemical preservation. But informed consumers can navigate these products more safely by understanding what preservatives do and don't protect against, and by recognizing when that package of lunch meat that smells fine might still be a problem. The absence of warning signs in a heavily preserved product might itself be the warning sign you need to notice.